Evening everybody, it's Mikey from Usuallybrokencars. Today you join me with Andy.
Hiya.
Today we are doing the Livingwith on his beautiful Subaru Impreza Type RA. Right Andy, so tell me about your car, what is it?
Right, okay, so yeah, it is a Subaru Impreza WRX STI Spec C Type RA. It's a bit of a mouthful. But,
It's quite a long description.
It is a long name, it is, yeah.
So the Type C RA,
Yep.
what makes it special?
Okay, so as far as I know, the Spec C itself is basically like a lightweight, trimmed down version of the normal WRX STI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this kind of goes a little bit further on top of that.
I did a little bit of research. Am I right in thinking lightweight body panels?
Yes, aluminium boot lids and bonnet.
Yep.
I believe it's got lightweight glass.
I did read it got lightweight glass.
But I don't know how true that is.
And do you know what the RA stands for?
Yeah, record attempts.
Yeah, I was really cool. When I was reading up about that, and it was again, it was Nürburgring record attempt built car, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think basically Subaru wanted to build a road version of the car to basically
homologate it essentially.
Nürburgring basically is what they wanted to do. So they wanted to break the 8-minute record in a 4-door saloon.
Can we put the rubbish in the bin before you leave?
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Nice one. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Yeah, so they wanted to build a car to break that 8-minute record in a 4-door saloon.
Okay.
So I think they built a prototype of this car.
Yep.
Did that. I think they did it in 7 minutes 59.
I was going to ask if they actually did it, which they did. So that was sound.
And then this was the car that they produced.
Yeah, no, it's really cool
to celebrate
and
that.
And the funny thing is, because it's one of the rarest Imprezas, isn't it? How many are there?
I mean, as far as I know, I've heard, when I've read online, I've read 350 or 300. I'm leaning towards a 300 is what I hear.
And has yours got a plaque on it?
It doesn't have a plaque, which I don't understand.
No, you kind of
just would have made it that little bit special.
A little bit more special if you're like number 20,
exactly.
Whatever, a 300 or 350, and it also give you that idea as well. So,
but as far as I know, I think there was 100 red, 100 blue, and 100 white.
I've only ever seen him in white.
Yeah, so
I've only ever seen him in white.
Blue
That's really cool.
Well.
Because you've got some really cool pictures on your Instagram. I will screenshot them and put them up. There's a couple of other guys in the UK that you're friends with that have got white RAs as well.
Exactly the same cars, and actually one of the guys, so I got this from Harlow Jap Autos.
Which is who Mike got his R32 GTR from, shout out.
So they import a lot of Skylines, a lot of Supras, RX-7s, obviously Subarus, Mitsubishis and that. So I got it from them, and he actually got his car from them maybe 3 or 4 years earlier, and his number plate is exactly the same as mine, bar like one letter.
That's mega.
So even when we did the photo shoot, it was like...
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Really sick. So how long you had it? How long you had the car?
So I got it from Harlow Jap Autos. They imported it into the country in the end of 2018.
Okay.
I was in the market, lucky enough to be looking for a second car at that time. And
was this sort of on the list, or did you just
see it? It wasn't. No, to be fair, I had never even heard of it. Didn't know what it was. I was originally looking at UK spec WRX STIs.
Yeah.
One of them fell through.
Yeah.
So I got home, I was frantically looking for another one.
Yeah.
Found Harlow Jap Autos. Again, I'd never even heard of them before.
Yeah.
Saw this on their website. I was straight on the phone to them. I think I went up the next weekend.
That was it.
Walked into their showroom, and it was like kid in a sweet shop, like beautifulest cars everywhere. This was planted in the middle of the showroom with a cover over it. And as soon as he pulled it off, I was just like, that's the one.
That's the one. This is what I want.
Yeah, but like I say, before then, I'd never even, I think it was just by chance that I even... And it was only afterwards that I started posting it on Subaru forums saying, just put a deposit down on this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God.
So were you the first UK owner?
First UK owner, yeah.
That's really cool.
I've had it ever since then, so...
Yeah, that's mega. And so there's the one name on the V5.
That's right, yeah.
So do you know anything about its history in Japan?
I've got a bit of service history from Japan.
That's cool.
I wouldn't say full service history,
no.
But there's a few stamps for it.
What about like modifications and stuff?
So modifications...
Because there's no way it sounds standard.
No, so it did have the standard exhaust on it when I got it from Japan.
Yeah.
which obviously I've now.
So what exhaust have you got on it?
So it's got a catback Blitzner spec.
Nice. I'm a big Blitz fanboy.
Yeah, retained the cat. A lot of people said don't put something so big and chunky. But I just feel on this car,
I agree.
I feel like it just deserves
Subaru Imprezas, that Jap can, it is perfect.
I mean, it's a big 4-inch. You know, it's offensive. It's loud.
Yeah, but that's what we want.
That's what it's.
We don't drive these cars to not upset people.
Exactly.
You want the old deer down the road to go.
Yeah.
As you're driving along.
And I have had a lady down the road stand outside her house with her hands on her hip, going like this, as I've pulled off the driveway. So you know, it does happen.
That's fantastic.
But you know.
So in terms of modifications, what has been done? Obviously, we know the exhaust.
Yep. So I've done catback exhaust.
Yep.
These do come with upgraded pink STI suspension.
Yep.
Which is actually one of the selling points on these, how good the suspension is. Unfortunately, that was changed before I got the car.
Oh, okay.
So the owner in Japan put teen coilovers on it, fully adjustable coilovers, which to be fair, I probably would have done anyway, because I quite like the stance.
Yeah, to be fair, we sort of say stance, but not stance, because no one likes the word stance.
That OEM Plus,
but having that fitment and that stance look is spot on, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's that. I think that's about it. Is what it came with.
It's got blow-off valve on it.
I put a Turbo Smart dual port blow-off valve.
Okay, because it's quite aggressive. It does make all the right noises at the right time.
And again, I just felt like I couldn't have this car without that noise.
Again, I do feel like with the Impreza, you've got to have that quintessential. That Subaru burble, but also that dump valve.
And the thing is, I don't drive it every day. You know, it's a fun car. And to have that noise of that blow-off valve every time I change it, to me, that's what makes me smile when I drive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I read somewhere about. Also, I don't smell, by the way. These are just. They
are everywhere. Well, actually, when he was over there, they were around.
So, inside they've got. Is it you can do adjustable? There's adjustable bits in pieces from the factory. Is that right inside?
Yeah. So it's got DCCD on it.
Yes.
So driver controlled centre differential.
And so what does that mean?
So basically, you can change the bias of either 50% four-wheel drive.
Yep.
Or you can change it up to 70%, I think, to the rear, 30 to the front.
Cool. So you can get the arse end out on the gravel sort of thing.
Yeah. And then it's got gravel set in.
Okay. Cool.
Things like that. To be fair, I think I've always left it in automatic. I don't think
you just don't want to touch it just in case you break it.
But it's a nice thing to have.
It is, it's cool, and again, it makes it a little bit more special over a standard Impreza.
Yeah.
So wheels and tyres.
Wheels and tyres. So they're special for this model, I believe.
Yep.
So they're 17-inch lightweight Enkai wheels.
Yep.
Tyres are 235, 55, 17s, Goodyear Eagle F1s.
I like the proportion of wheel to tyre.
Yeah.
I think like the 17s are the right size for the vehicle.
I think they are. I think for a car like this, I think certain cars it looks great with big wheels and really skinny tyres, but on something like this, I like the arch to be filled, but with a bit of tyre there as well.
Yeah, I want meaty tyre.
Yeah, definitely.
Brakes.
So 4-pot Brembos. As standard.
Yep.
To be fair, I've never changed discs and pads on it. I think they're probably 277s on the front, maybe.
Yeah.
But that is something. That's probably one of the next things.
Yeah. And what is that, an upgrade or just a replacement?
I think an upgrade. Yeah. I'd like to go for some.
Maybe some 6-pots or something.
Not the calipers. I don't think I need to change those.
No, to be fair.
It's 4-pot Brembos, and for what if I was going to track it a lot.
Yeah.
Possibly, but for what I use it for, a bit of Sunday driving and coming to your cars and coffee and that.
Coming to the events and showing it off and stuff. So 3 things you love about it.
3 things I love. Number one's got to be the 8K red line. I just think.
£8 is.
It just keeps going and going until it hits that red line.
Yep.
The looks for sure.
Yep.
I love the aggressive looks of it, and the way that it does stand out from your average cars that you see on the road. The 8K red line for sure. The aggressive looks of it is, you know, I love the looks of it.
I've
always loved the boxy arches.
Yeah.
You know, they remind me kind of like the Lancia Integra.
Yeah,
Lancia
Integrale,
Delta.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, you say that, especially even just sat here now, that box arch, you never really paid that much attention to before.
And like, I mean, I was always a Nova boy back in the day as well. And I know it sounds mad to compare a Nova arch, but they also have that very sort of square arch.
Yeah, you're absolutely
so
right.
I like that as well. And just the general drivability of the whole car, you know, just the feel of it when you're driving it.
It's funny because I thought you were going to maybe go with something like exclusivity.
No.
Because it is... And I can say this because I don't own it, but I feel like all the other Subaru owners on the road, or the Impreza owners, are like, I wish I had that Impreza.
Impreza owners, yes. Anyone else doesn't really know,
doesn't get it,
what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had people come up to me and think it's just a standard WRX who doesn't know anything about Subarus, and then I've had a guy come up to me who has literally talked to me for an hour about it because he's never seen one on the road before, and he can't believe he's seen one in person. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, it's quite nice from that point of view. But the sound, you can't go wrong with the side
and again, I think that Subaru sound. Yeah, that Subaru sound is a very special sound. So, give me one thing you hate, because there's got to be something. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, I love my car."
I've been struggling to think about that
because I know you've watched the other episodes.
I have been really struggling to think. I'd probably say just how the one thing that really is the paint on it is so thin.
Yeah,
that it just gets damaged so easily.
That's fair. And is it specifically thin for these? Or is it just a Subaru thing?
I'm not sure. Yeah, right, I don't know. I know someone who's had one of these and he tested it with like you can test
paint depth gauge. Yep.
I can't remember exactly how thin he was, but he said it was ridiculous.
Which is again, it means that you then worry.
It's literally like the thinnest layer of paint on it.
I do think that the white paint it really makes this car. It really, really does. Okay, so what's your most fond earliest car memory?
Well, my parents had a Porsche 924, a blue one.
Very cool.
So I remember that from quite a young age, which kind of got me into the Porsches. Like, I love the pop-up lights.
Oh mate, that's mega.
Which, like, you know, I love looking at yours. You know, it's a beautiful car.
That nostalgia.
Yeah. I think they sold that and got it was either a 323 or 325.
Cool, because your dailies are. BMW as well.
BMW, yeah, which for a daily,
yep.
I love that car. It's a great family car. But I love the E30 BMWs as well. The boxiness of those.
So what else have you had then?
So I was a bit of a Vauxhall boy back in the day. So
I never used to be, but since hanging around with James and the Howard brothers, I've started to get into that fast Vauxhall scene.
Yeah, so first car was a Vauxhall Nova, spent thousands.
As you did.
Stereo in the boot.
So what sort of era? Was this Max Power era?
Yeah, definitely Max
very
Power.
Cool.
Yeah, although that was I made it look like a GTE. It wasn't stupid with Kingdom Developments, front bumpers on it and stuff like that, which was the thing back in the day.
Yeah.
And then after that, my most serious one, I got a Corsa GSI, but then I got that sent up to Courtney Sport up in Norwich. Did an engine conversion, put a 2-litre C20 XE in it out of a Calibra.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, coilovers, buckets.
And that thing must have shifted.
Straight pipes. You know, back in the day, that was
a quick car.
It was
quick. I mean, it's still going to be quick to today's standards as well.
Yeah, it was great. That was about the time where Civic Type R was kind of just coming out.
Yeah.
Used to race Civic Type Rs, and they used to pull up at the lights and just go like, "What is in that car?"
Yeah. So, I mean, like, they've just spent 20 grand on their new Civic, and you're sat there in your Corsa going,
Corsa.
Bye.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
that's fab.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So, have you got any sort of future plans for this? I know we said about the brakes, but something that you're specifically...
future plans, brakes, a little bit of tidying up, maybe respray the bonnet.
Yeah.
Do I want more power? Always want more power, right? But for a fast road car, this does well.
Yeah, of course. So in terms of power, so what's the power figures on it at the moment?
Okay, so like I say, so when I imported it, I was standard, so there's no induction kit. There's nothing done under the engine bay. I believe about 280 brake horsepower. I think I had to have it remapped for English fuel. Because when you have them in
Japan, is it now mapped to run on 95?
No, it's wrapped on
still 99.
It's mapped on Shell V power. So full tank of Shell V power. went in exhaust fitted, and he mapped it. I've never had it on the rolling roads, but my mapper is a Subaru specialist over in Princess Risborough.
Okay.
FB Tuning.
Okay, cool. Shout out.
Geezer Richard, yeah, really nice bloke.
Cool.
So he looks after the car for me, services it every year, does anything I need doing to it.
Yeah, 100%. But this kind of thing you want, you know, you don't want that. Your average garage, you want that.
Yeah, I want to take it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he said maybe between 330, 350.
Does the butt dyno agree?
Huh?
Does your butt dyno?
For me it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's all good. But you know, to maybe push that up above the 400, 450 might
but will
be
you
nice.
have to, for especially for Subarus and stuff, forged internals for that?
I don't think I need to, because this is an EJ20 engine,
Right.
which is a stronger engine from Japan anyway.
Okay.
So I think I could probably push it to 450 without having to do anything internal. I think maybe a full exhaust, rather than just a cat back, just
So
to
turbo
just
down,
to open that
let
up
it breathe
a little
better.
bit. Yeah, some better headers maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a bigger turbo. Induction kit.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the turbo might not even be needed, to be fair.
No, to be fair, you probably find you'll quite happily sit at, you know, sort of 370, 380 on the stock turbo.
Yeah.
So I know we touched on your BMW earlier, but you daily quite a tidy 3 Series, but you've also got a bike as well.
I do. Yep.
And it's quite a fast bike.
Yeah.
So what is it?
So I've got a GSX-R 600.
And obviously that is like instant speed.
It is, yeah,
instant speed. So how do you find it in comparison to this, in terms of, like, this is no slouch?
No. The bike's scary.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have ridden bikes all my life, ever since I was a kid. Used to ride crosses when I was, 10 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
But the bike does scare me.
Yeah.
Like, that is, you're doing 140
In Mexico.
on it. Yeah, it's, tunnel vision sort of thing, whereas this is enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think you also have that safety net with a car.
It's manageable power. I've had it 5 years now, so I'm quite comfortable with using it to its fullest and knowing what it can handle.
Yeah,
so.
you know, and you know how it's going to react.
Yeah,
stuff.
Definitely, yeah.
Whereas with that bike, you never know what's coming.
Yes,
so that's okay. That's cool.
But I love the bike. I'm lucky to have both of them. So
yeah, exactly that. And you've brought the bike down to Cars and Coffee before, but I think this always draws a crowd because of its rarity. And I think with Cars and Coffee, people do see it, and some people, like you say, no idea, and other people instantly recognise it and go, that's cool.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a really cool rare bit of kit.
I think most people always think that the spoiler's aftermarket because it doesn't look like what you
ever
see.
This is it. And I think what's nice about the spoiler and things like the roof scoop is they are so specific. I know roof scoops are common on Subarus, but that's a unique one to this vehicle.
Yeah.
The spoiler's unique to this vehicle.
Yeah, it's also got a tank in the boot, which sprays water on the intercooler.
Yes, I was going to say that's one thing. So how does the water to intercooler thing work?
Well, I've got there's buttons next to the dash that I can operate it manually.
Yeah. So can you see the temperatures then, or?
No, I don't know. To be fair, I don't even know if it's ever worked. But it's there. I'm sure it would work.
Yeah. Of course.
I've never tested it. But,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's one of the extras on it.
Yeah, no, and it's quite. I know that they came on things like the Evos as well.
Okay.
But it's quite a bespoke, and I think it's a very Japanese thing.
I think the first Subaru they did it on was the 22B, I believe.
Yeah.
That had that in the back.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so. Also, it's got the black and purple interior as well, which I think is kind of unique to this.
Yes.
This one as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So you've had the car 5 years. Obviously, it's ticking all the right boxes for you. Would there be something you'd replace it with? If not money, no object, because I'm not interested in £1 million supercars. But let's say, heaven forbids, this was written off. You got paid out, let's say 30 grand, and you're gonna buy a Sunday car. What are you gonna buy?
I'd be tempted with a RX-7.
Nice.
If I'm honest. Yeah, I would.
I love that rotary sound.
Yeah, I love those cars. Yeah. And they're timeless as well.
I think that the FD.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh.
And that is a car, what was it, made 30 years ago?
And
probably.
it's still...
you can sit that
so
next to any
elegant.
modern car. And it's
so elegant.
Yeah,
it really
so
is.
I think, which I considered when I got one of these, but I was scared by that rotary engine and if I was going to have loads of trouble.
I mean, I had an RX-8 and I loved it. I had an RX-8 at 18.
Okay.
And for me, it was like one of my favourite cars I've ever
The
had.
old suicide doors.
Suicide doors. Right? And people rag on the RX-8, but actually, for the money, great value for money. 230 horsepower.
They're cheap now as well.
They are cheap because everybody's worried about them.
Yeah, you can pick them up really cheap.
But yeah, thank you very much for talking to me today. Thank you for telling us about this awesome bit of kit.
No problem.
Thanks to Geordie for doing the video in today as well. And so Andy, much appreciated. And
Nice one. Cool.
Top man, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Oh my God. Well, hopefully the camera won't be able to pick up on too many of them.
Me, so I don't know what that's.
I've got the white background.